All right, looking at the Unit 2 closure. So here's the graph I'm using for the first question. What is the slope? So I'm going to pick a couple of points that are good points, some lattice points. So I'll pick that one. That one, draw in my slope triangle. I'm going down one space. I'm going to the right two spaces. So it's the change in y over the change in x. So the slope is the negative 1 over 2. What is the y-intercept? It looks like that's the coordinate point 0, 2. So the b is 2. And then what is the equation of the line? Y equals mx plus b. Identify the m and the b. Right? What do they represent? So remember, m is our slope, and b is our y-intercept. So for letter A, the m is 2 over 1, and the b is 1. Right? I'm getting that from my y equals mx plus b. For b, the m is 2/5, and the b is negative 4. Okay. Then I want to graph these two, so let's go ahead and graph the first one up here. So I start at positive 1. That's my y-intercept. And then my rate of change is up 2 to the right 1. And I can draw the line in. Okay. And this one here, my y-intercept is negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. My rate of change is up 2 and to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there is my line. Okay. So you start from the back number, right, the b, okay, and this is your rate of change in the front. Then we got some exponent rules here. Okay, so looking at number or letter A, it's going to be 14 over 7. So 14 is the same as 2 times 7. 21 is the same as 3 times 7, right? So the 7 is reduced to a 1. I got a to the third on top and a to the fourth. So that means I can get rid of 3 a's. So I got a to the 1 down here. 2 b's on top, 1 on the bottom, leaves me with 1 on top. So I could rewrite this as 2b all over 3a. Right here, this is multiplication of like bases. So 2 times 3 is 6. A to the third times a to the 1 is, sorry, m to the fourth. And then n to the second, n to the fourth is n to the sixth. Okay. For the c, remember, anything to the 0 power is 1. So this is just that. Okay. Same thing here. This is multiplication of like bases. So remember, the shortcut for this is to add the exponents. So s to the 11th, t to the 1, t to the negative 1 is t to the 0, and u to the second. Right, t to the 0 is just a 1, so it's just s to the 11, u to the second. This is an example of power to a power, so like put a 1 on the 3, and it's going to be 3 to the 4th times w to the negative 8 as you multiply the exponents. So I believe that's what, 81, w to the negative 8, and you don't leave your answers with negative exponents. So that's just like the reciprocal. And then m to the third is just 1 over m to the third. Okay. All right, look at the next one here. Shirley starts with $85 in the bank. So she starts with that. So that's my B. And saves $15 every month. That is my rate of change. Write an equation for the balance. Be sure to define. Okay, so I'm saying m is the slope and b is the starting amount. Okay, so we're looking at y equals 85 plus 15x. Okay, I know I wrote that kind of backwards, but I think it's good to see that you could also write y equals 15x plus 85. This is the y-intercept because it doesn't have an x. Okay. All right, next one we got to find the slope. Okay. So I'm just going to count. It doesn't really matter which ones I pick. So I'm going to go right here. So from here to here is plus 1. From here to here is minus 5. So the slope is the change in y over the change in x. So the slope is negative 5 over 1. Right here, this goes up by 1, and this goes up by 9, so the slope for that one is 9 over 1. Write an equation for the given tile pattern. How many will be in the 58th pattern or figure? So looking at this, I got to figure out what's going on. So the key here is I need to get back to figure 0. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I got 3 more. So it looks like they added this one and these 2. Okay, so it looks like you have to take 2 off the bottom and 1 off the back to get to here. So I'm going to take this one off and take those 2 off. So this leaves me with just 3. Okay, so that's my B. That's my y-intercept. Okay, and it goes up by 3 tiles every time, right? So if I go up a figure, I go up 3 tiles, so the slope is 3 over 1. So the equation is y equals 3x plus 3. All right, because I started with 3, and then I increased by 3, and they want to know 58. So 58, figure numbers are your x values. So I'm going to plug that in and say y equals 3 times 58 plus 3. So I get 3 times 58 is 174 plus 3, and that's 177. Okay. What is the slope? We're given 2 points, so I'm going to make a table out of this. I get -5, 7, 10, 1. So from here to here is going up, and it's 5 spaces to 0, then 10 more spaces back up, so that's up 15, and this is down 6 spaces. So it's the change in y, right over here. Okay, so negative. And then I can rewrite this as -2 times 3 all over 5 times 3. All right, then I can reduce the 3's, that's it to 1. There you go. Okay. All right, here's a question that people tend to have issues with, is the substitution. So for the x, I'm going to put in a -2. So I'm going to kind of get this started here. I'm going to say, okay, -3. What I'm going to do is put parentheses in for everywhere that there's an x. Okay. So then I'm going to put a -2 into that spot. Okay, so order of operations tells me to do the exponents first, so I'm going to rewrite that. So a -2 times -2 is 4, and that's -8. This is -12. Right, so it's a negative, so I just put a plus. So this is -20 plus 5, and that's -15. So it's kind of running out of room here. Same thing for this next one. I'm going to put the spot in, so it's going to be 6. Put my parentheses in, and this time it's going to be a 1. So order of operations tells me look inside the parentheses. Oops, sorry. 6 minus 5 minus 9, 6 minus -4 squared. Okay, so -4 times -4 is positive 16, and then -10. Okay. Looking at C here. Okay, sorry, that was A, that one was B. So it's going to be -4 all over there is where I'm going to put my number in. And this time it's going to be a -8. So I get -4 over -1, and that equals 4. And then looking at the last one here, see if I can find a spot to put that somewhere. Just kind of squeeze it over here. So it's going to be 2 times parentheses all over n. Okay, so let's put the m's in first. So m goes there and m goes there. So that's an m and that's an m. And then the n's go right here. Okay, I'm definitely going to run out of room on this. So let's come all the way over here. So this is going to be -4. 3 minus that is 2. Minus -2 to the third is -2 times -2 times -2, which is -8. Minus 3, and this is going to be -2 plus 8, right? Because minus a negative. This gives me negative 5 if I put those last two together. So 8 plus negative 5, so the answer is positive 3. Okay. A book contains an average of 300 words per page. If you read one page in 68 seconds, what is your reading rate in words per minute? Okay, so right now we're at 300 words in one page. So we want to figure out, we want to turn this into minutes. So what we know here is one page is equal to 68 seconds. Okay? One page is equal to 68 seconds. So here, the page is reduced to 1, and I get 300 words in 68 seconds. Okay? That's my first part. Now we want to know how many pages in an hour. Okay? So now if I take the, 300. Okay? So that gives us words per minute. Okay. So now what we got to do is do 300 words over 68 seconds. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we want to turn this into hours. So 1 hour, put it on the bottom. We always want the units. So like say I put pages on opposite. So 1 hour. How many seconds are in that? That should be 60 seconds times 60 minutes should be 3,600 seconds. Okay, seconds cross off, then I'll multiply the numbers times 300. So 3,600 times 300. Okay, all over this many. 6, 8. And 68 hours, and then I'll just divide by 1, divide that to get a 1 hour. So it should be about words per hour. Okay. Words per hour. And going to this last page here, this is years since kindergarten and length of Sarah's hair. So what is the ruler interpretation of the y-intercept? So this is after. So this is like her first grade, 1 year after kindergarten. So when she showed up to kindergarten, her hair was 3 inches at the start of kindergarten. Okay. What is the rule interpretation of the slope? So I'm going to find 2 points here that are good points. So it goes, okay. So this goes up 2 and to the right 3. Okay. So if her hair gets 2 inches long, it takes 3 years to do it. Okay. So every 3 years, her hair grows 2 inches.